There was once a man named Leonard, who had a strange sense of humor and a habit of pulling pranks on his friends and neighbors. One evening, just before midnight, Leonard decided that he would dress in a long white sheet and wander through the old cemetery on the edge of town he thought it would be hilarious to scare anyone passing by and then laugh about it. Later, he wrapped himself tightly in the sheet, making sure it dragged across the grass like something from a horror movie. He even practiced eerie moaning sounds, whispering woo and ooh. As he walked, he waved his arms slowly and moved between the tombstones, imagining how terrified people would be if they happened to see him. Leonard felt quite pleased with himself as he drifted around the graves, pretending to be a restless spirit. He pictured his friends gossiping the next day about a mysterious ghost sighting in the cemetery. The thought of becoming the local legend made him grin under the sheet, but as he floated toward the middle of the cemetery, Leonard suddenly heard a low growl behind him. He froze in his tracks. His first thought was that maybe one of his friends had followed him to watch the prank, but when he turned slowly, he realized the growl was not human at all. A large black dog with glowing eyes in the moonlight stood just a few feet away, its teeth bared and its tail stiff. Leonard had not expected this at all. He waved his arms and tried to make his ghostly moan louder, hoping the dog would be frightened. Instead, the dog took a step forward and barked. Loudly echoing through the quiet night, panic rose in Leonard's chest. He had planned to scare people, not animals. And certainly not a dog that looked like it wanted to bite him. He turned and started running through the rows of graves, the white sheet flapping behind him like wings. The dog barked again and gave chase. Leonard sprinted as fast as he could, weaving between crooked headstones and nearly tripping over the uneven ground. The dog was right on his heels. Growling furiously, Leonard screamed, not in his spooky, ASCII ghost voice, but in his real, terrified voice that cracked and echoed across the cemetery. He darted left, then right, but the dog stayed close, chasing him without hesitation. Leonard regretted every decision that had led him to this moment. His lungs burned, his legs felt heavy, but fear kept him moving faster than he ever thought possible. He imagined the dog tearing through the sheet and biting his legs, and that picture only pushed him harder. Finally, Leonard spotted the rusted gate of the cemetery. He sprinted toward it with all the strength he had left. The sheet snagged on a jagged stone, but he ripped it free without slowing down. He leaped through the open gate and kept running down the street. The dog stopped at the gate, barking fiercely, but did not leave the cemetery. Leonard collapsed on the sidewalk, gasping for air, drenched in sweat and trembling his ghostly disguise. Torn and dirty, he sat there for a long while, staring back at the cemetery where the dog stood guard as if protecting the graves from foolish intruders. The next morning, Leonard limped home, still shaken from the chase. His neighbors asked why he looked so pale and ragged. He simply muttered something about going for a late walk and not sleeping well. He never confessed to anyone about the prank that went terribly wrong. From that day forward, Leonard never set foot in the cemetery again. He decided that some places should be respected, not used for silly tricks, and he realized that pretending to be a ghost might amuse him. But it certainly did not amuse the dog who guarded the graves. And though he tried to laugh about it later, he could never forget the sound of growling paws pounding behind him in the moonlit night, the night when the prankster became the one who was truly haunted.